I hope everyone is doing well. Good to see you all again. Lucky we have another day of practice. Wow. Take the time to say, see each other.
Sometimes I find it helpful to take a few intentional, deep breaths at the beginning, pausing, long, deep breaths, pausing to feel the effect in the body, the affect on mind states, the emotions, consciousness.
Steve, can you move your microphone towards yours a little bit? There we go.
That's better. How's that? Yep. It's natural to want to figure things out when we wonder what's happening with a sensation. What exactly is that sensation? Is that a new sensation? And if we can keep that spirit of discovery, exploration open, it stays in synchrony with that pre-verbal awareness, touching the immediacy of appearing body, mind phenomena just in that moment. We could also use reminders, wise consideration, in the form of concepts that we don't have to have an intellectual understanding of everything. So if we're not sure what a sensation is, or an ache, or a pleasant, unpleasant feeling tone, that's exactly what we want to be mindful of. Just noticing that. I find it helpful to use sometimes that soft mental label of knowing, the knowing mind, the mindful knowing mind. When for almost anything, but in this particular case, for things that might lead to more thought and pondering. So, for example, if I don't know what a particular sensation is, or emotion, or a combination of sensations and emotions, if it seems vague, and um, undefined, recognizing that I might just be aware of knowing or use that label knowing this experience, cluster of sensations and emotions and feeling tones uh, that are unclear. They're not other moments where everything feels crisp. And that's exactly how it should be. It's exactly what's happening now. It unhooks us from the habit of striving to get clarity with an experience that has arisen that's defined by lack of clarity, defined by its fuzziness, its vagueness, its numbness, and so forth. And that applies kind of to everything. So that spirit of repetition, that again and again we look at phenomena appearing, but without the expectation that it's going to do anything in particular. We watch it, and if there's a synchronization between the awareness and the sensation, our mental mood, the phenomena, we do notice change. And that noticing and understanding lighten and brighten the mind, bring joy to the mind, even when what we're noticing remains vague and unclear. With understanding, there's just an allowing things to be as they are. And understanding brings this inner release and joy. It lifts our sense of being, lifts the heart. So knowing is a valid lens through which to experience everything. Experience and knowing are the same thing, just two terms to describe the same thing. If there's an awareness of bodily experience or emotional, mental experience, it's another way of saying the knowing of these bodily sensations, the knowing of these uh, emotional qualities, knowing of the stream of thought formations. And it's the knowing that's in the foreground now, where what is being known is more in the background. Previously, we tend toward the object of the awareness as we're getting synchronized, getting our practice qualities activated and working together. And they merge into the powerful moment of mindfulness and associated skillful states like the 5 strengths. And then it's just a question of balancing, knowing how to lean back in the rest, lean back in the relaxation. And from that restful place, there's balance energy in and of itself, balance of energy and concentration, the focusing capacity of the heart, and balance of confidence and understanding. All that can go on with being anchored in knowing as it too arises, peaks, troughs, and another moment of knowing awareness arises, seeing the previous moment of awareness and the objects of awareness drop away. We're just, for that time, riding the knowing force, the knowing current, and in feeling its appearance, its comprehension of things falling away, mostly when the awareness is precisely attuned and synchronized with the moment. What we're seeing is phenomena usually disappearing. It's already disappearing. And then the knowing mind is poised for a new sound vibration to arise, mental image, memory, sensation in the body, breath. Other times I use breath as a pause, might be midstream in a meditation. And I just feel the effects, the lifting that comes paying attention to the in-stream, incoming air into the body, lungs, brain, and the reverberating effects of that. Not to make a project. One can easily get high doing just that, but that's not our aim. Our aim is to understand things. When there's a clear comprehension that accompanies mindfulness, then we find some of the things that we do as useful tools, upaya, skillful means. Just taking a breath, not with the motivation of getting something or getting rid of something. Just doing it for itself and feeling the effect as it expand our awareness, that help us be with something in the body. That's difficult. Are we struggling to make something vague more clear? Are we struggling with something that's clear but painful? So is there a pushing away at that, trying to change it, trying to fix it? And the pausing moment is, okay, well, what is it? What's just here? What's happening here and now? With, rather than analytical mind or assessing mind or trying to fix mind or trying to change, simply the knowing mind that doesn't want anything, has no agenda. The knowing mind with mindfulness isn't trying to make anything happen or unhappen. That's the discursive mind. That's the conceptual mind. Knowing is just opening to the richness, the variations of this moment. And what's in our field of awareness is wide open. All that can be experienced in our field of awareness, our ancestral home, everything in our visual field, everything in the soundscape, the light that enters the body, the sounds that enter the body, fragrances and flavors, sensations that define the body, the multiple mental permutations, the simplicity and challenge of just attuning to feeling tone without being seduced into leaning into the pleasant feeling tone and leaning away from the unpleasant feeling tone, being confused about the neutral feeling tone. The more we understand feelings are just feelings, the more the awareness, the knowing mind, attunes to the nature of impermanence. And the moments that that drops into a moment of insight awareness, we feel the joy that always arises with understanding. So let's just experiment with that. Or practicing as you usually do, and seeing what it is you're being aware of, the sensation, recognize the relationship of mindfulness to that sensation, that emotion, and then just switch their positions. Rather than the emotion or the sensation being center stage or front stage, let the knowing awareness be the anchor. And from there, we're just knowing. That's the primary focus. Knowing sounds, sensations, phenomena, memory, planning, confusion, clarity, energy, tiredness, concentration, distraction. Just letting all of that be what it is. The more there's this abiding in the knowing awareness, the more it becomes pure and not invaded by thought formations that want to interpret and analyze or proliferate. Stays restful, stays in a generative mode of being. Just see if this is not true for yourself. in the last few minutes of the sitting, if you'd like, just employ the mindful investigation of current mental states, mental attitude, mental mood, or you can just call up and see or feel what is the nature now of the energy awakening quality. What's its current characteristic? Is there any joy coming out of the interest in doing this inward work of exploration? And qualities of calm or restlessness, concentration, distraction, equanimity, or reactivity. And mindfulness itself, which there can never be too much of. Yesterday, I mentioned two of the four wisdom qualities that accompany mindfulness: the clear comprehension of purpose, what we're doing, or what we've set out to do, And secondly, the clear comprehension of suitability. That is the timing right? Is it appropriate? Is there flexibility in the inevitability of change, changing conditions and circumstances? And then going about our tasks. So mindfulness and clear comprehension are these inseparable companions in practice. So even now, as you're sitting or standing or lying, whatever your practice posture is, and say you're about to get up and do your walking meditation, or have water or tea, you use the washroom, you find that we change our mindset less and less as the practice kind of weaves together this fabric of awareness moment to moment with what you're doing throughout the day. So kind of aware of your current mindset, aware of what you're about to do, having that clear comprehension of purpose. What am I doing? And you have an image or a quick thought of you're going to your walking spot, and then awareness of the suitability. Is it a good time to walk? Perhaps you need some water or tea, or to use the washroom first. And so you change course, having that flexibility, that adaptability to changing conditions. In that way, we never leave the meditative moment. Also, just as I introduce knowing as an anchor, can do that with all the activities we do in our other postures, walking meditation, where the movement and sensations become more the background, and the knowing awareness is more in the foreground. You can just experiment with that, because that's what we're doing, and that's what you're free to do. You're creating your own sacred container to explore, to be creative, and to discover things on your own terms. So just see how that works out. Any announcements, Jesse? So then you have an hour to practice whatever you practice in this hour, and we'll meet again for a sitting and question and answer period.